Do you ever feel like you're in the same space, but the connection is completely gone?
Yeah.
And that's not because you don't care though, but because you're tired. If that's you, this episode is for you. Stay tuned.
Hey, Mr. Friends, welcome back, you guys, to another episode of the Blissology Podcast, where we keep it real about love, marriage, relationship, you guys, and everything in between. You guys already know who I am. I am your girl, your host, CC. As always, I have my amazing husband / co-host. Babe, what's going on?
A lot is going on. Hey, everybody, this is Will, and welcome back. We're so glad you're tuning in with us today. If this is your first time, this is a weekly podcast where we keep it real, like Sissy mentioned. We keep it relatable, and we come to you guys every Saturday.
That is right, every Saturday.
And as always, before we get into the topic of the day, we always like to share our blissful moment. That's either something that happened to us, something that we did, or something that we're looking forward to doing.
What is your blissful moment, babe?
Last Sunday.
Father's Day.
Well, what I did on Father's Day, I got up and she made me breakfast, which was good. But I got it before they did, and I found myself doing dad stuff. I was cleaning the patio because the kid had made a mess on there. Got my chicken prep because I wanted to grill. Obviously, she fed me in the morning. We had breakfast together. And then as midday came in, we were outside. You know, I grilled some corn, some chicken.
Listen, you guys, I wanted to take him out. And of course, you know, when your man says, when you ask your man, hey, what do you want on Father's Day? You know, it's like, you know what? My husband, he's very typical. He's like, I'm good. Whatever it is, I'm good with whatever. And then I told him, you know what? I'll make you your special breakfast.
Which was good.
And I made that. It was a lot. I took care of the belly in the morning. I got him what he needed, you know, and then after that, he's like, you know what? I want to grill. So he did. He grilled. The day was all him in the patio with blasting his music.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
He called it, he was doing dad stuff.
I was doing dad stuff. But yeah, there's some joy in doing stuff outside, you know? The kids came out, they got their ball out, kicked some ball in the backyard.
Yeah,
it
was fun.
Hey, you know what? I did enjoy that Father's Day. I did some dad stuff. I'm sure some of you probably did. Hey, listen, if you did something fun, if you did something enjoyable, share it in the comment. Would like to hear how you spent Father's Day. Either you, if you're a father, or if you have a father in your life, just drop a comment. We would like to hear what you did. So let's get into the topic of the day. Today, we're talking about something real, something a lot of couples feel, but they don't always say.
I love you, but I'm tired. Okay?
Yes.
That part.
So, and you know, you're not mad. You're not bored. You just drain.
You just drain, you guys. Just drain.
Listen, life is heavy right now for a lot of people. You got work, you got bills. Some of us have side hustles that keeps us busy.
Kids.
Some of us got kids.
Family.
Sometimes you have a couple. Sometimes you have like several of them. You got family.
Several of them.
Yes.
Okay.
So you have a lot of stuff. There's always something, right? So you might feel like you're running on empty.
Yeah.
I know I have, and then you have as well.
Oh, yes.
And when that happens, your relationship can start to feel off.
Yes, absolutely. It's like you don't talk like you used to.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right?
I mean, your behaviors are different.
Your behavior change. You feel drained. Like you guys, I know a lot of you guys have experienced this. And we have. Okay, we have. When you feel burnout, when you feel stressed, you feel drained.
You absolutely change. I mean, you don't check in as often as you would.
Yes.
You fall out of routine. And I know in our case, like for instance, we used to have our regular weekly meeting. And I tell you, once we're busy, sometimes that doesn't happen. Yes, we talk, but there used to be a time where we would sit and have our sit down, and it's dedicated time for meeting. But I'll tell you, when we have so many things happening, that routine, that normal ways that we used to do this thing, it doesn't happen. So yes, when you get drained, you get tired, your routine changes.
You get burnt out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think for some people, maybe their routine is still the same. Because I think, to be, if I'm being honest, I think people that has 9 to 5, or both husband and wife, work, just go and clock in and come home. They have like their moment where they just chill and don't really do much. The children come, they have children that comes in life. And that's the other part that makes you feel like you feel drained because now you have family and you have stuff to take care of. So it's a lot. And it's not like, you stop loving each other, okay? It's just that you just stop pausing for each other. I know you and I, babe, we constantly talking, but we haven't really had that moment where we just pause and just like talk about each other. Just talk about us. It's a constant talk about business and the children. Right.
I mean, sometimes we have to find things outside of the daily tasks, the daily activities that we do.
Yeah.
And Cece's good at that. I mean, that used to be our Sundays, and it still is. It's just not as consistent as it used to be.
It hasn't been for the last few months, if we're being honest. It hasn't been.
But that used to be our Sunday where we would sit in and we ask, we kind of have this check-in moments.
Right.
How's things been? What's going on with you? And so forth. But now I'm finding our Sundays are like prep Sundays for the week coming. Mm-hmm. And this is where we have to be very careful as to when we get so tied up with things that we can take a moment to pause where we focus on each other.
Yeah. And I think, sometimes you can be in the same room and still feel like miles away from your partner because you're both doing something, right? You both either on your phone or you're not really fully there for your partner.
It's a weird feeling.
It is a weird feeling.
But the truth is, you're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you, though.
You're just damn busy.
Yes. You're too busy and you're not falling out of love. And I know some people may think,
busy.
Are we like, no, you're not. You're just overloaded.
Yeah.
And the fix isn't always doing more. Sometimes it's being more aware.
Yeah, you have to be more aware of each other's time. And I think for me in the past, right, although I haven't been doing that, I think the best way to really stay connected with your partner is to check in for 5 minutes. Here's the thing. I know for us, we used to check in for like 5 to 10 minutes a day.
Sometimes it used to be 30 minutes, not per day. We used to be once a week. We do those major check-ins. Now, Cece and I, we're constantly talking. And our conversation goes from one thing to another. And sometimes it's a little bit irritating conversation because maybe one of us says something that we shouldn't have, we talk. We talk is about various stuff, but it's not always the normal check-in where we like, hey, tell me what's going on with you.
It's not normal. Yeah. Or checking sometimes is you driving home, tell me how you feel.
Oh, that we do every day. Every day at work. That's my drive from work to home. That's my decompressing moment.
Mm-hmm. But the check-in is supposed to be no phones, no distractions. Just checking how you really feeling. How are you feeling today, babe? What's going on in your mind? What's going on in your world?
And that's something we need to get more consistent at doing.
Yes. Listen, like I know we be so busy. We really have been. And I think sometimes we do find ourselves where we don't have the time to check in with each other.
It happens.
We talk, but we don't really check in. And I think the next thing I want to say is, it's touch, right? Even if you don't talk much, that I'm a touchy feeling person.
Oh yes, that I'll tell you. I got this on pat.
But I'm not a touchy feeling person in the morning. I'm not. I'm very grouchy. I'm very like, don't talk to me, don't touch me in the morning until I get my coffee, until I get my routine together. Then I'm good.
Yeah. The morning I don't have any issues because when I'm leaving, she's usually not up and running.
Yeah.
Or if she's up, she's doing her meditation. I'll just go and give her a quick kiss and I'm out.
Yeah.
But during the day when I get home, yes, I'm touchy and feely throughout the day.
And if it's not touchy, I'm like, sir.
Yeah, but that's and listen, I know that's something that's important to her and I do my best. And it's become like a habit for me. I just have to touch. Yeah. Sometimes I'm sitting here talking this podcast and I'm like, should I? But then again, I know I have to be appropriate. So there's certain things that I cannot do, right?
Yeah, he's very touchy. He's very, very touchy. Yes. Like, I want you to be able to feel your partner, right? A hug, a forehead kiss, just to see how they are, just to
or if there's a good track
them.
of music that comes on the radio or whatever is playing in the house, just get up and dance.
We do that.
Can't believe how many times that, a good song comes on and before we know it, we're just going at it.
My husband know how much I love my mix. And then she'll be like,
the kids are there.
Well, yes, we have children. You got to be able to,
when you're in the moment,
carry yourself around your kids.
You're in the moment.
Yeah, Yeah, but don't be lost in the moment, is what I'm saying. Wait until they go to sleep.
I'm a touchy-feely person, and obviously I know she loves it, and we do it. You know, we try to be very up close with each other, and that does help. And I know, yes, there's a certain time if I just go by and I don't touch, she's like, what's wrong with you? And so I do it on purpose. It's just if she's paying attention.
Of course. That smack gotta happen. Like, why are you not smacking? Like, there's certain things that you are so used to, and if your man is not doing it, and you're like, okay, what's going on? And yes, it's good. It's a good thing. It is a good thing. It is a good thing. Yes, I understand sometimes when we both feel like very burnt out. We feel tired and we feel like we just not there for each other. I know one thing that you do is when I'm really tired and burnt out, you're like, babe, should I order out? Should I do takeout today? Yeah. Because sometimes when you are, should we do Chick-fil-A tonight? When you are tired and you're just not fully there to do the things that you want to do.
And that's what's important. If you can take breaks together, do it. Mm-hmm. I know, listen, we do sit together. It doesn't happen as often because when I do, sometimes I fall asleep. But we do spend some time where we sit together. But if you can take a break with your partner, like for instance, maybe you leave the house together, you go sit at the park or wherever you go, just find some ways that you can spend some time together. Mm-hmm. Or if it's at home, just order out. But don't do like I do. If you sit on the couch, please do not doze off. Try to engage in some deep conversation. Right?
Yeah, that's my life right now. It's been my life. It's gotten better. It's a struggle.
It has gotten better.
Okay, it's a struggle.
And I'd say lastly, and that's something we have to do more, where we do some screen-free time. Phone gets put away. Now, we're good at the dinner table, though.
Maybe the kids were calling you out the other day.
We've been good. The other day, something I needed to do, but we've been very good at that. But if you
not consistent though.
But we've been good at it. I must say that. Listen. No one's is 100% perfect at something.
Correct.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yes, but that's one area that we've been good at. We've never had dinner where we're like all on our phones and no one's talking.
Oh, yeah.
We have conversations and we stay focused on each other. But I'm saying if you can dedicate some time as screen-free time for your family, especially for you and your spouse or you and your partner alone, that allows you to force yourself to have conversation. I tell you, there are times that, like for instance, the other night we got home and we had to take our late dinner. I mean, it was like 10:30ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, we sat with each other, no phone, and we just sat there. And I'll tell you, when you sit like this, you're forced to have things to talk about. Because if you don't have the phone, it's no longer a distraction. So if you can set those screen-free time, it helps, especially if you are out. If you're at the park and you're hanging out and you don't have those devices on hands, you'll find something to talk about.
I want to bring back the couch earlier you mentioned.
By falling asleep?
You falling asleep. You guys, I really hope that I'm not the only wife in this planet that has this problem. Yeah, this man will fall asleep in the middle of a conversation. Okay, like I be talking, sharing my heart, deep conversation. Okay, and my man over here falling asleep, blinking slow like a toddler sleeping.
No,
babe. That's just my problem, you guys. And it gets on my skin.
This is what Sissy called falling asleep. I'm going to give you a demonstration.
Babe,
she's talking. She'll be talking and I go...
What do you call this? What do you call it?
Asleep.
What do you call it?
I'm sleepy. I mean,
okay. What do you call it?
And listen, it's an opportunity on my end, and I'm working on it. Like the other day, we were watching TV with the kids, and yes, I felt like it was coming.
It's every night.
So I stood up, and that kept me awake. So that's something I think I want to start doing. If I felt like I'm getting to that point, I'm just gonna stand up.
Yeah,
because I'm standing. It's the environment changes, the thing that I'm doing changes. The likelihood of me, doing.
But here's the thing, though. I have no problem with him like go to sleep or take a nap or whatever during the weekend or during the night. I don't have any problem with that. It's just that if we are in the middle of a conversation, like I need you to be able to like fully be awake and hear me out. Because I think if it's you talking to me and I need to be fully awake and listen to what you have to tell me, versus like you telling me something and I'm like either scrolling or falling asleep or doing something else, that's me not giving you my fully attention.
Yes, and I agree. Listen, I completely agree with you.
But
no one should be dozing off.
But here's the thing. You know how many times my husband said, I agree with you, but yet he still do it every single time.
The majority of the time that it happens is when we sitting back and watching TV, not fully engaged. I mean, sometimes it does happen in conversations, but not all the time. Watching TV, that's something else. Because I'm sitting back, my body's at rest.
Maybe it happened in our meeting too sometimes.
Sometimes.
Okay.
I'm just stating the fact that it rarely happens in those cases where we having conversation. I'm not saying that it never. It has happened. I'm acknowledging that. But it happens more often when we're watching TV. And I know that's something I have to get better at.
It happens in the middle of a conversation where we all sitting there talking, having not just me.
Listen, I'm not denying the fact that it has happened.
4 or 5 people gather around talking. My husband is like out. Who does that?
Oh yeah. There are cases they engage in conversation. And listen, yes, that has happened.
In the middle of, I mean, I don't want to put your business out there, but in the middle of conversation, like he was like out, where it's just me and 4 other people are sitting there talking.
Well, if you're engaging with each other, I can.
But you are also part of the conversation. That's what I'm saying.
I can remember vividly. There was a time I was like sitting way on the outside of the conversation.
Like, you guys, he has a problem. I don't know what it is, but it's not like, we having this late conversation. It's like I'm talking about 8, 9 o'clock.
Sometimes it happens at night. There's been a couple of cases I was in bed with you. Listen, I know that's something that's been an issue for me because when my body gets at rest, it's at rest, and it gets me in the mode of falling asleep.
Listen, babe, I understand it happens, but it does get under my skin and it does bother me. And that's something that, you and I, we talked about. And like I said earlier, I'm really, really hoping that I'm not the only wife, the only person that has a husband who will fall asleep in the middle of a deep conversation. Okay. Like there's time where I'm like, you know what? I'll just let him be. I'm good. I'll just walk away. But there's time where I'm like, damn, babe, you're not even hearing me out.
There are very few times where she says, yeah, let him be. Maybe 1 or twice. All the other times I hear about it. Well, sometimes she just kicked that sleep out of me.
Because I need you to be up.
Nah, listen, and sometimes I try to
But I do understand that if you're tired, you sleepy, I let you be. But there's time where you on vacation.
There are times that we're watching TV and I can feel like
there's time where you on vacation.
And now it's becoming the norm that the kids are kicking
you guys,
me too.
am I wrong for saying this? I need my partner to, we just want to lay there. Listen, I understand we're both tired. We're both like very, very, burn out. Sometimes I'm like really out. My mind is like, girl, you need to rest. I need to lay on my man and watch TV and just be just the two of us, not talking and laying there. But not talking to him, it's like him falling asleep. Like, oh, this is like an opportunity for me to be out. The best thing I told my husband next time is to communicate with me. We talk about this a lot in the podcast. We talk about this a lot on the podcast. The best thing is to communicate and say, you know what, babe, I really want to hear you out right now, but I'm not fully awake. Can we talk about this later on?
That's my ticket
tomorrow?
Out.
It's not.
If I'm feeling that it's coming and we're in a conversation, right now it's not a good time for me to be in the conversation. Let's have it at a different time. And then I'm glad you mentioned this.
You mentioned that's my ticket out. I feel like that's what you're going to be using now going forward as an excuse.
But if I'm sleepy but if I feel tired, you just said it's okay for me to say, you know what, maybe let's have this conversation.
No, but it has to make sense though. It has to make sense.
But what will make it make sense that if I'm tired?
But I don't want this to be where you use this as an excuse for every time, is what I'm saying.
Why would I want? But if you said it happens most of the time that I fall asleep, that means the majority of the time I'm tired. Then I am. Why can't I use that?
That you literally just say that's your ticket out. Like that's your way to like use this as an excuse.
Well, I'm not gonna use it as a way to not talk. But
that's what it sounds like.
But after a long day, if I feel, you know what, hey, I'm lightheaded and maybe I need to lay back a little, I'm gonna tell you that. Mm-hmm. Or if in one of those days that maybe there's something I need to do that may engage some conversation, I realize, you know what, it's been a long day. I may need to get home and just kind of laid back and chill a little bit. I should be able to say this instead of trying to stay up, and before you know it, I'm doing the thing that I do, and then you get ticked off. Mm-hmm. I'm good with it. I mean, hey, listen, we've had a lot of conversations. If you count the number of conversations we've had where there's no instances, it's way more in conversation where we have this happen. I'm not going to use that as a way to say that we don't want to talk anymore. But if it's one of those late nights or one of those days that I had a really long day and I feel like, you know what, I can't fully focus. Maybe I need to nap those off for a few minutes. Yes, I should be able to say that.
For sure. I never said you shouldn't. I'm just saying like sometimes it's better to communicate that with your partner as opposed to like doze off without even acknowledging her or him telling you or having this conversation with you.
Yeah.
We both work hard. We're both tired. We're both, sometimes burn out. I know I've been a lot because you guys know as entrepreneur, we're constantly thinking, constantly trying to figure things out. So therefore our mind is like fatigued and we're like, what should I do? But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't have time just to chill with each other.
Oh, absolutely.
And this is why I want to mention to you guys, sometimes we, the woman, the wives, we just want to just chill, not where you guys use this chill as an opportunity for you to fall asleep. There's time where you could just chill, just lay back with your woman and just watch a good movie, a good the Avengers or, Thor. Those are my favorite movies, right? There's time when you just lay back and chill. But it doesn't mean that you're going to lay back and use that as an opportunity to fall asleep. I haven't fallen asleep on you, though.
You are different than I am. But if you fall asleep, I wouldn't have any problem with it.
But I don't want to do that because I feel like it's our time together. So I wouldn't use that I wouldn't use that as a way to fall asleep. Because that to me feels like an opportunity for you to like, you know what?
But see,
I'm going to slide that sleep in right.
It's what you're thinking. If it's you and I who sit and you happen to doze off, I'm just saying, you know what? She had a long day. Just let her be. That's what I would do. Now, we're different. That's not when I'm going to get pissed off and says, man, you need to force yourself to stay up.
But no, I do. But I do.
Are you.
I know, but I do.
I am me. I'm not telling you that that's what you should do. Right. I'm telling you that that's what I would do. This happens, you doze off. I'm just, you know what? She had a long day. I'm just carry on with whatever I was doing. Because I'm not going to get pissed off because you're tired. Because I know the type of days you have. Yeah. I never in any case think, hey, you shouldn't have had a long day. No. Because and sometimes long day doesn't mean that you are lifting heavy stuff, that you're doing labor intensive stuff. Believe me, there's long days that may not involve any labor related stuff and you're still mentally fatigued at the end of the day. And that's a concept that sometimes people don't get. They think that you have to be running and doing all that stuff to be tired. No. This mind up here, sometimes it works so much. You could be sitting here and your mind is running.
Of course.
And then you find that you're tired without ever lifting a finger.
Of course.
And I understand this. And I approach all of these things with understanding. If this happens, I believe there's a reason why it happens. And the reason is not always to hurt me or to neglect me. No. If it happens, it's because something happens, and sometimes we have no control over certain things. And what I've learned is that you don't need to take a full hour, 2 hours, or a full day of sleep. You don't have to take a big vacation or a big resets. Sometimes all you need is a shift in mindset. A shift in mindset thinking, you know what? We're not roommates, we're teammates. We're in this together. This relationship is our relationship. Yes, a team checks in with each other. A team passes the ball. A team celebrate wins like, hey, baby, thank you for folding the clothes. So once you start thinking of a team, yes, if I'm sleepy, I'm going to get up just to make sure that I can be part of that team and be able to engage in the conversation.
But you do know that when you want to take a nap or when you are tired, that's not something that we like, oh, you shouldn't take a nap. You shouldn't feel tired.
Yeah.
We let you be. And sometimes I always tell you this, babe, why don't you go lay down in the bedroom and take however long, like last Saturday when you came home, you had a long day at work. And I said, you know what? Why don't you just go lay down in the bedroom? And the kids closed the door. They were playing. They just let you be.
Yeah.
It was like around 4 or 5 o'clock and we just let you go do your thing, go take your nap if you have to. And then we just continue our activities. One thing about me, once I'm up, it's hard for me to just take a nap in the middle of the day. It's hard for me to say, you know what, I'm just going to lay down and take a quick 15. Because I know if I do that, if I take a quick 15, I'm going to get a headache. Because I need a full all out. That's why I just stay up until whatever the time is. Because once I'm up until midnight or 11:30. Yeah. Right? So we're both different. The way you function is different than the way I do things. And I agree with you. We teammate in this. We're not roommate. So if there's something's wrong, we tackle it together. We talk about it. We communicate with each other. And we let each other know, hey, this is how I'm feeling. You know, I know we're both tired. We both have a lot going on. But at the same time, we have to work on our relationship. We have to work on the things that we need to work on. And I think it's so important for partners to recognize this in their relationship.
Yeah, I agree with you. Because things bound to happen. And when it does happen, you just have to find ways.
You just have to find ways to get around it. And I want to say this, when you feel seen and when you feel supported, you stop counting who did what, right? Yeah. You stop looking at things, I did this, I did that. It becomes where we are in this together. I think I mentioned this earlier. We're in this together. We're in this as a team, right? There's no I in team. It's we. You know, I'm not doing it alone. We're not doing it alone. We're doing it together.
Yeah. And if a partner is not good, is run into some issues, find a way together, because the more open you are to communicating on what's happening. Like if I walked in and says, man, I had a long day, I'm just going to go and do that for 10 minutes, 15 minutes or an hour. She won't have any issues with it. Right. And we've had instances where it did happen. So, but when you care for your teammate and when you know that if I allow my teammate to do this, that
to refuel.
That puts him in a better position to be a valuable teammate. As opposed to one who's falling asleep.
Listen, I'd rather have my partner in crime, which is my partner, to refuel as opposed to be like all drained out. Yes. Because when you're drained out, we can't have our time together because you're going to be falling asleep.
You can't do a whole lot of stuff.
You'll be out in 10, 15 minutes. Okay?
I know. Sometimes you can't even be on for a minute. You know, when your partner's drained out, there's a lot of things that they're not doing as efficient as they should. So it pays to make sure that your partner gets the rest they need. But, you know, you got to care for each other.
Yes.
And when you care for someone, you got to understand that body that they're in.
Yes.
Sometimes it needs certain things.
Yes.
And when it does, you got to allow it to get it, because that allows them to be better later.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. And you have to, listen, ladies, I know we very much like, you got to do this, you got to do that. You know, last week we talked about it's me, 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 me. Listen, we got to replace pressure with peace, ladies, okay? Because I love my man. I love when we peaceful. I love when we like in this moment where we just having our peaceful time, right? We have to replace pressure. We don't want to pressure our man to do things when you know, sometimes I don't think you are. If you are, just being honest with me, when people feel like they walking on, you know, they got to have this pressure to do things right for their partner.
Well, there are times it happens. I mean, listen, I have high expectations of myself, and there's certain things I expect me to do. I'm almost like a perfectionist. I like to get things right.
Maybe you are a perfectionist. What are you talking about?
No. I'm almost like one. I'm not quite like one because I allow myself
You're 99% of perfectionist.
No,
so
I don't think it's that high.
You're not 100%. You're 99%.
But because I like to almost get things right all the time, yes, it does put pressure on me because I want to make sure that I can get it done the right way and get the right outcome. So yes, that does come with some pressure. Pressure to perform, pressure to provide. And that in itself keeps me thinking, all right, how do I do this? Sometimes I run like 10 scenarios in my head.
Yeah.
Even before I try doing the thing, which is not good though.
It's not.
Sometimes
it's
you just allow
overthinking.
yourself to do. And if it doesn't work, you just quickly change it into something else.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
And this is what's important to bring peace because, listen, if I'm at peace with myself and hey, listen, I want to get this done and I say, hey, I do this. If the outcome is not quite what I desired, then do something else or do it differently.
Yes.
But don't waste so much energy trying to plan it before you do it. That's something I got to get real better at, you know?
I agree.
And then sometimes she expects me to read her mind.
Listen, hold on. Okay, thank you.
Now, a lot less than it used to.
Okay.
And
I work on it.
We would have a conversation about what to get, and then I got her and then she's like, I thought you were going to get this, but we never talked about it. That's not happening. But there used to be the time that she would expect me to kind of, get this right. right. So then I would be at a place and thinking of all the clues that may have been given. Did I get it right? Am I getting the right stuff? All that adds to the pressure that sometimes we deal with on a daily basis.
Sometimes some people 24/7.
And obviously, one of the things is that if you know that this doesn't happen the way that it was being expected, there'll be some frustrations.
Yeah.
There'll be some coldness.
Right.
Some people will feel a certain way. So the pressure to get it right is there.
Yes.
So I'd say, listen, when you're in a relationship, sometimes you have to loosen up. And I've learned to really loosen up. That's why sometimes I'm like, man, you know what? Let's kind of go with the moment. Let's see where we can get to. Because not everything has to be planned to a T.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. I agree with you totally, baby. I agree with you because that was me 5 years ago, where I want you to read my mind as far as things that I want. But I kind of I worked on it, and I think I'm so much better.
Yeah, you are.
I am so much better because I really don't want to put pressure on my husband. I want us to be able to have, it's never going to be a peaceful relationship. We all know that. There's nothing perfect in this planet. We're not perfect. We're going to have our moment. And we've had moment.
Oh, yes.
We've had moment. But I think we are learning and growing. And I think that's the beauty of every relationship. It's beautiful where we both grow. We both growing in our relationship. There's this growth in us.
Oh, yeah, because as you learn to do things better.
Yes.
And as you take down some of those pressures that are unnecessary, it reduces the chances of getting burnt out.
Yes.
The less of that burnout that happens, the more fun you can have.
The more fun you can have. And I think sometimes so we have to be mindful of the words that we use towards our partner.
Yeah.
And I know for me, I've always said, babe, I'm not okay, but I still love you.
Absolutely.
I'm not okay with you falling asleep while we having this conversation, but I still love you. Yes. And I think that sometimes it actually, makes your partner feel a certain way. Not just saying, you know what, I know I've said this in the past. Well, I don't like when you fall asleep.
She says it with anger.
But I would say I'm not okay with it, but I still love you. Let's take a break together and reset. Those are the words that I've used in the past. Let's take a break together. And then,
Or sometimes she'll be like, I don't like it when you do that.
Well, yeah.
There's that one time I was at her parents' and gets in a conversation. I don't know how long I was out. Man, she looked at me like I was a kid.
I sure did. I gave him the look. You think he would stop?
I don't know if I snored.
Oh, you were loud, baby. You were loud. I was so embarrassed. Although I wasn't my parents, but I was embarrassed for my man, you guys. I was like, damn, this man about to fall asleep and snore at the same time at someone else's house.
And I go to my parents, my mom's there. She's like, I know you're going to sit back. Because my brother and I, it happens. We just go there and we doze off.
I just don't get it.
Hey, my brother would go and just lay down and just go out.
Yeah,
I'll sit back.
Yes,
I
just don't get it. Like,
and
I just don't get it.
My mom's got one of those big recliners. She's like, get on the recliner and go at it.
She said it.
She understands her son.
She does. Because y'all done it so many times. But
she understands we tired.
Yeah, we understand y'all tired too. But then not when we having a conversation with y'all.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we took a break from the conversation.
Okay.
But I remember that time. Yeah, she was pissed.
You were out and loud because you were like snoring and you were very, very loud.
Yeah. And hey, listen, there are moments you get like this and there's no helping it. The only thing you can do is like, I'm going to excuse myself. I got to go get something done with my body. Maybe I'm going to go in my car and doze off a little bit.
Sometimes you got to stand up to that sleep.
So, there are certain things in life we can control. And there's certain things, yes, we could try to fight them. Sleep, yes, if I stand, the sleep goes away. But one thing actually is, and Cece said earlier, if I feel like this is not the best time, maybe go visiting someone at the end of the day where I'm tired may not be the best thing to do. In that case, I'll take my butt home
But when you get home, babe, you don't sleep.
Because I do
actually
stuff.
In the computer.
Well, here's the thing with me. And I know we keep going back to this. If I'm doing something that involves me actively doing something, I'm awake. It's just sitting idle is not a good thing for me. It's just not. I'm not that type of person.
Even if you are having a conversation with someone.
Sometimes I may be part of a conversation, but if I go like a couple of minutes without contributing to the conversation, I am idling.
Wow.
Right? So, yeah, but if I'm like talking right now and I'm actively speaking, no, there's no way. But if you engage in the conversation, I'm not giving any input, I'm idling, yes, that could happen. I mean, not always, but if it goes like 5 minutes, I'm not contributing to the conversation, that may happen. So here's what I said. There's certain things we can control and there's certain things we cannot control. We just have to know our environment because it can be very disrespectful to your partner and to the guests that you may be in their homes.
Yeah,
or if they come to your home. My mom's cool.
Well, that's your mama. Of course she's cool. That's your mama. But
yeah, hey, listen, however you look at it, being tired don't mean you don't love each other.
I know.
No way. It doesn't mean that. It just means life be lifing. Like you be saying, life be lifing. But real love, it shows up in the middle of all that chaos. When you drain, but you still try, you still your partner. When it's not perfect, you're still there. You're still present for your partner, and you don't have to do the most. All you have to do sometimes is just be there and be honest. If I'm tired and I'm sleepy, I should be able to tell Cece, listen, this has been a long day for me. I'm going to need 10 minutes. I'm going to need 15 minutes. I'm going to need 2 hours, and be soft with each other. Be gentle.
Yeah.
We don't have to approach each other with an iron fist.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Believe me, if someone is tired and they're dozing off, I don't think they want to hurt you. They're just at a point where their body's like, man, I need some rest.
Well, sometimes it's not hurt. It's just them. It's just in my mind. It's just thinking that they're just being selfish.
But I'm saying there is no ill intent behind it. Yes, the body's falling asleep to rejuvenate itself. That's all it's doing. Rest is a normal part of what our body does. There's no ill intent. No one says, man, I'm going to get up today and I'm going to doze off in the middle of the conversation because I just don't like you. If that was the case, then there'll be ill intent. But there's no ill intent when that happened. It just happened. It's just how do we handle it and how do we address it and how do we prevent it from happening in the future? You got to be honest with your partner. So when this happened, just find a way to go forward. To move forward because your intent is not to hurt your partner. Now, here's what I want you guys to do this week. And that's something that I'm going to do myself is number one, ask your partner one question with your full attention and engage in the conversation fully. I don't care if it's early in the morning, midday, or later in the day. Have a great conversation and do it from day 1 until day 7. Just find a topic to talk about because that will not put the phones away when you're doing it. Just have a full conversation and completely devote your attention to your partner. Number 2, give one kind of touch every day. A hug, a kiss, a butt smack, whatever it is that you do.
A squeeze.
Make it a squeeze. I like that. Make it your main goal to find some way to get touchy-feely with your partner this week. Right? And number 3, find ways to replace pressure with peace. Choose grace over perfection. If your partner does something and they didn't quite get it right, don't give him hell for that. Maybe say, what? I appreciate what you did, but it's not quite that. Next time, let's do it this way. But don't get upset over it because all that does is it just create more pressure for your partner.
Yeah. Yeah, right? Absolutely.
So listen, this whole thing in this relationship and this life that we live in can get complicated.
Chaos.
And it's not because of my fault, your fault, or anyone's fault. That's just life.
Right.
Life can get complicated. And when you find yourself with a spouse, with children, with work, with side hustle, that makes it even more complicated.
Yes.
And our body can take so much until it actually crashes.
Yeah.
You need that. And I'll tell you, with entrepreneurs, we get into bad sleeping habits.
True.
We sleep late. We wake up early.
Yes.
We don't rest. You know how many times I've called this woman and said, hey, have you taken lunch?
No.
She's like, no. And I'm like, when you control your schedule, how do you not take lunch on time?
We don't.
She's so caught up in what she's doing. So all of these things add to us burning out and getting tired and falling asleep in the middle of the conversation. It happens.
Yes.
However, when you're in a relationship and your goal is to grow that relationship and make it last forever, we have to pay attention to these things.
Yeah, especially mental
Sometimes
fatigue.
we got to force ourselves to just put things away. I told Cece one time, because now I have the ability to turn off my Wi-Fi wherever I am in the world.
Don't you dare.
I haven't done that yet.
Don't you dare.
But I can literally
Don't you dare, because you know
take
you'll
all
be in
the
trouble
devices
with me. Don't you dare.
There was that one time the cable company was doing some work and they cut the Wi-Fi.
They sure
I'm
did.
at work and my phone is buzzing.
Listen.
Everybody's telling me that they are the internet. So, but
yeah.
I don't think I will do that. But if it gets to the point where I have to do that, where I have like a certain time slot of the day where the connection goes away, that it forces everyone to actually put away those devices, I think I may ended up doing.
No, not here, sir.
Because I have my moments where I just stay off the screen as much as I can. And sometimes I have to catch myself. I'm like, man, that's too much time I'm spending. Whatever you do, just look at how you're spending your days and how you're spending your moments, because that will tell you if you need to take some time away and relax a little bit.
Right.
But, with that said, guys, we appreciate you rocking with us on the Blissology Podcast today. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who needs it. Drop a comment. Let us know what stood out to you. So let's keep the conversation going. And don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a Saturday with us. Until then, take care. Peace.
Bye.